welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we got a brand spanking new ZX6R 2024 model. It's got some nice upgrades on it already, but we're gonna be doing some upgrades that, in my opinion, these 24 model ZX6s, they gotta have it. They changed these things. The 19 through 23, we've done tons and tons and tons of them. I know the results with about every combination you can possibly think about, but these 2024s, they changed them a little bit. I know why, we're not gonna talk about that right now, but long story short, they've got smaller cams in them. So with the smaller cams, they make more mid-range, they make more low-end power, but they don't make as much top-end power. Well, we're trying to fix that today. How are we gonna fix it? Well, I'm gonna show you. I got you a little sneak peek right there, but we got the parts laid out. We're gonna be putting them in. Stay with us, guys. We're gonna do before and after on real world test on some velocity stacks coming up next. So this ZX6, pretty much brand spanking new. It's got a M4 full exhaust system on it right now, headers and everything, no catalytic converter, stock ECU, basically stock bike with exhaust pipe, some really cool mirrors, and aftermarket windshield. So we're gonna be installing a couple parts today after we run it on the dynos, see what kind of baseline numbers we get. Then we're gonna install just these parts by themselves, run it again with no modifications to the ECU. We're gonna see what we get once again. Then we're gonna flash and tune the ECU to show the full potential of this new ZX6. Let's go ahead, fire it up, warm it up, see what kind of power she's making. Almost fell in the hole, tripped over the line. Anyways, we're gonna fire it up, warm it up, see what kind of power it's making as is on this brand new bike with 4,500 miles. It does sound really good with this M4 exhaust. Pretty spicy, I must say. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna do the baseline pull on this thing, see what kind of numbers it makes. We're gonna do 3 pulls back to back to back. Then we're gonna let the bike cool down. We're gonna install the parts. Then we're gonna do 3 runs back to back to back with the parts installed. Then we're gonna start our ECU flashing process. The guy has already spent, let's just say, close to $1,500 on a full exhaust system now. Let's see what it does. Just spending the money and bolting the stuff on, and let's see what it does after we spend a couple $100 on our ECU. The 3 runs are done. The final results are 119 horsepower. So in my opinion, super, super good for a 600 with just bolting on an exhaust system. Now I get asked this question all the time. Is a slip-on exhaust or just as good if I gut my cat out? It does good. It does better if you gut the cat out, but it ain't 119 good, guys. So the aftermarket full header for these things, in my opinion, is worth the money, okay? So, but you can still see how we go up. We make peak horsepower and then it starts immediately going back downhill due to our restrictions / a few more things. Let's get these velocity stacks and air filter installed and see what we can get out of it. It's not too hard of an install. We got to remove the gas tank, lift the tank up, pop the air box apart. I'll show you once we get there. All right, guys, air box is out, air box is apart. You can see Tucker is putting in the new velocity stacks. You can see these are the old ones. For one, they're rubber, which works, but either way, they're pretty tall. So you can see from here up is what sticks above the air box, and then this is where they just mount inside. So you can see now we basically have a, it's so short, it's almost nothing on the outside, and then on the inside, we have a different design. So long story short, I've tested these in the past. These help super good. And then we're getting rid of the factory air filter and going with, this customer chose a DNA air filter. Now I get asked that all the time, what air filter would you choose? Me personally, I like the Sprint P08 air filter for the street use. Some people like the DNA, some people like the MWR. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I think no matter which air filter you choose, any of them are going to be an improvement over the stock one. The more the air filter flows, the less dust filtration it's going to have. It's not rocket science how these things are. You want to flow more air through them, you filter them less. So take it for what it's worth. Choose whatever you like. Another thing that gets asked all the time is about the pair valve. This right here is the stock pair valve system. Now we can get you a good tune with or without the pair valve being blocked off. If you block off the pair valve, it's gonna eliminate any popping back on deceleration. So if you like flames, if you like popping, if you like the noise, leave the pair valve in the factory form. If you don't like that, block that off, whether you just shove a marble in this little hose right here and to block it off, go into the air box, put this back on the air box after you shove the marble down in it, or buy pair valve block off plates and eliminate that altogether. So now that you got all the info on what to do to your bike, we're about to put this thing together and find out the results we got. Right here, Tucker just reminded me, is the factory O2 sensor plug-in. We are gonna unplug this now because we are flashing the ECU, and once we flash the ECU, we do not want the factory O2 sensor in there anymore. So we're gonna be deleting that. To delete it, you just simply unplug it without cutting off your finger, just like that. So anyways, this can be removed completely from the motorcycle or just unplugged. If you remove it from the motorcycle, you would think this would be a given point, but it's not to everybody. You have to plug up the hole in the exhaust pipe. You cannot leave a hole in your exhaust pipe. You'd be surprised how many people call me and say, yeah, I got the hole in there, it sounds funny now. All right, guys, results coming up in a second. Here we go, guys. Stacks and air filter are installed. Same process as before. 3 pulls, back to back to back. Let's see what kind of gains we got. guys, results are in. We got a total of 120.57 horsepower. So we just spent a pretty good bit of money. We really didn't gain much. 1 horsepower. So I don't know exactly the price of the stacks, but I'm gonna guess about 400 bucks. Air filter approximately 100 bucks. $500, 1 horsepower. Ain't what you want. Let me see what we can do when we play with this ECU. Before we get into tuning, let's look at what the stacks actually did. So velocity stacks typically take power from one spot and put it in another. So you can see the green line, that's our best number before the installation. Focus, focus. Our blue line is our best number after installation. Okay, so you can see right here, this is at 9,000 RPMs. We gained 5 horsepower with the velocity stack, so that's pretty good gain. But you can see right here at 8,000 RPMs, we actually lost 3 horsepower with the velocity stacks. And then you can see here again at 10,800 RPMs, we actually lost 2 horsepower. But then you go up here to the top end and we gained 2 horsepower at 13,400. Still, I don't care what you call it, it ain't that good. We need some tuning involved. We'll get the horsepower gains, but let's see what we can do. All right, guys, ECU is flashed, restrictions are removed. The bike is pretty well tuned in. I've made a few runs already. I've got the air fuel adjustment just right for this application, and we got some really good gains, okay? The thing looks good, sounds good, performs good now. After this, we're gonna add in some pops and bangs. Now, some guys love this, some guys hate this. This is totally optional with us. We can make it where it pops none if you have pair valve block off plates, or we can make it go absolutely bananas, which is what we're gonna show you here in just a second. But let's see what kind of horsepower we got now that we got this thing tuned. Don't worry, we're back. All right, luckily the phone is not broken, screen is not damaged, but our horsepower is good, guys. 125.29. Look at how nice and smooth and perfect that air fuel ratio is. That's what we want to see. Let's go over here and take a look and overlay our beginning numbers. You can see where we started and where we're at now is a big difference. So let me delete some of these other old runs, clean it up for you a little bit. So you can see the orange run is where we're at now. The blue run is where we were. You can see here at 13,700 RPMs, we were at 111 horsepower. With our pesky factory restrictions, now we're at 124.46. Huge gains all the way across the board. The biggest thing is our top speed is going to be increased a lot, because where we were dying off at basically less than 14,000 RPMs, now the bike keeps pulling all the way past 15.5. That should be an insane difference on the street. Now, let's flash the ultimate pops and bangs into this ECU and turn it into a fire-breathing dragon. All right, headphone users, be ready. It's about to be crazy. I'm gonna take you inside. I'm gonna do some blips in neutral, show you what it sounds like. I'm gonna bring you back outside, set it up, and show you what it sounds like when you're going down the road and you get on the throttle, off the throttle, insane. All right, let's go, guys. All right, guys, what do you think about the pops and bangs? Crazy noise. Let me zoom you out and you can see exact same performance. 125.29 is where we at, 129.25.38 is where we ended up overall. Pops and bangs don't add or subtract any performance. They're just smiles per gallon. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you got a 2024 ZX6R, you know what parts you gotta buy. If you already got them, hit us up, mooremafia.com. We will get you all the stuff you need to get your ECU flashed. All you gotta do, mooremafia.com, go to the ECU flashing page. All the details are on there. Now, don't just go calling me, say, how do I get my ECU flashed? The way you do it, you go to the website, you click on the ECU flashing page, and then you watch that video. The video is going to explain to you all the process, all the options, everything you got to do. Click, say, type, everything on the website, mooremafia.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We just busted over 200,000 subs. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Appreciate you watching, appreciate you smashing the like button, and appreciate you being a part of that Moore Mafia Maniac squad. All right, guys, we're out. See ya.